I want to start this video off by apologizing, I guess. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There has been so much bad news in the gaming world over the past week or so. Like, this has been a rough one. If you're somebody who's just started watching my channel within this last week, I'm not always this negative. I'll admit I can be negative, but so many of these things have been going on that they have no positive aspect to them. And I promise, my next video is going to be way more positive. I'll think of something. What I do know is we need something to raise morale around here. So amidst all these microtransaction controversies, Activision has been exposed for looking into some really despicable, honestly disgusting practices. With this recent patent they just got approved for. Oh, how bad can it be, you ask? Well, let me tell you. Essentially, it's building entire game systems like matchmaking around getting people to spend more money on microtransactions. I'm going to link to the actual patent in the description, but here to quote, patent number 9789406 for a system and method for driving microtransactions in multiplayer video games. Describes a number of matchmaking algorithms that a game could use to encourage players to purchase additional in-game items. For instance, the system may match a more expert, marquee player with a junior player to encourage the junior player to make in-game related purchases of items possessed/used by the marquee player. A junior player may wish to emulate the marquee player by obtaining weapons or other items used by the marquee player. Activision, you sneaky bastards. If you don't get it, essentially what they're saying is they would rig the matchmaking. Typically, we as gamers, we praise matchmaking systems when you're matched with people of similar skill. This way, you have a competitive match, win or lose, you have fun playing it. This would aim to do the opposite, essentially. Activision wants to beat you down with more experienced players who have better items, probably better skilled at the game, in an attempt to frustrate you into spending money to also have better weapons like them, so you'll in turn have more fun because you can actually be competitive. Moving on, potential interest in an in-game item would be determined by an express preference or a derived preference based on a gameplay history. For example, the junior player may wish to become an expert sniper in a game, e.g. as demonstrated by the player profile. So they'll probably take a track record of your past games, see that, you're usually playing with sniper weapons, and they'll recommend those to you. The microtransaction engine may match the junior player with a player that is a highly skilled sniper in the game. The engine could also push items based on, quote, usefulness. For instance, an in-game item that may be suited for a particular level that the player has repeatedly failed may be identified. I've got a crazy idea. What about creating an environment? Now, hear me out, I know this sounds crazy, but creating an environment where by playing the sniper role more and more, you just become better at sniping, rather than pushing some item on someone to just make them better. And how about the line about a level? I'll say it again, an in-game item that may be suited for a particular level that the player has repeatedly failed may be identified. That sounds a lot to me like they're emphasizing campaign or like co-op based content. A level you failed multiple times. Also, that could mean like if you're talking about, an arena, a multiplayer level, could that mean we're going to be seeing levels designed around specific items that they're going to wall off behind microtransactions? Like, oh, we have this big, wide open, sniper-friendly level. Again, let's stick with the sniper example. And maybe only a certain specific type of sniper rifle can, like, snipe between, one tower at one end of the map and the other, or something like that. But, oh, that rifle is walled off behind microtransactions. It's just, the ideas that go through my head about this, it just sounds so bad. With this whole thing, like, oh, failing a level will give you something that will help you succeed. It reminds me of, like, Super Mario 3D World. If you've played it, you could get, like, that Uber Tanuki suit if you failed the level a bunch of times. I mean, how would you like it if, say, Nintendo just sold it to you for $1 or something every level. Like, wouldn't it be fun? Just pay money and you get to breeze through the game. Like, if you want to have that stuff, this goes back to my whole thing about challenge in games, a way for players to just breeze through the levels. I can see the argument for it, okay? Even though I'm, more of a proponent of, overcoming the challenge. But to charge for it? I mean, imagine some of these games. I'll bring up Dark Souls because it's probably the most typical. If they implement something like this in a game like Dark Souls, where the big selling point of the series is, oh, they're so challenging, and if they added this sort of element in where, say you were fighting like a flame boss, and it's like, oh, well, you failed 5 times, would you like to buy this water-powered sword for $10 to beat him with? It's like, ugh, it's just gross. It's just gross. Like I've been stating in the past, these companies with these ideas, it's like you're really aiming to give the players a worse product, a worse experience rather, in an attempt to make more money from them. I mean, I'll say it here, let me know in the comments, would you like to be matched up with more skilled players with better items in a multiplayer game and get stomped until you just can't take it anymore and pay them money to get the same stuff? And not only that, if you're the player on the other side, so say you bought all this stuff, and then they're going to put you on the other side. They're going to have you just stomping noobs to frustrate them. Does that even sound fun? I mean, the whole point is for it to be a challenge, a competition when it's in multiplayer. I mean, yeah, I'll say stomping noobs is fun every now and again, but if that was like every match over and over again, I'd get bored of it pretty quick. But please, yeah, let me know if that sounds like fun to you, because I can't imagine a person that agrees with this exists. And especially now that this system, this patent has been approved, I honestly have no interest in buying anything specifically multiplayer related made by Activision. As even though their rep said when they were asked about this, oh, we haven't implemented this in a game. Yeah, you haven't implemented it yet, obviously. But if they did, do you really think they're going to be upfront about it? Like, do you think they're going to put it on the back of the box on the next Call of Duty? Prepare to die until you give us more money. And people use this excuse of, oh, it's just a patent. Companies file them all the time. It doesn't actually mean they'll use them. Okay, yes, that's true. But that doesn't mean they don't have any meaning at all. This shows you where these companies' heads are at. I mean, Jesus Christ, if you've only been following me again for like a couple weeks, you know how out of control microtransactions are getting, and at a rapid pace. A couple of years ago, this would have shocked me a lot more, but it kind of seems like the next step now. Companies have discovered this method to milk players for more money. So naturally, next, they need to figure out how to push it on the largest amount of people as possible. It's horrendous. There's no excuse to be made here. So no, I'm not waiting until it actually gets implemented to push back on it. Because like I said, how are you going to know if they don't tell you up front? You'll just be playing a game and wondering why you keep getting stomped all day. A freaking pop-up message or something starts coming up, flashing on your screen every time you die. Oh, would you like to buy the new Sniper of Justice weapon with aim assist and maximum damage? Only $10. Start actually having fun in the game today. Give me a frickin' break. Anyway, with that, this video's a wrap. Let me know your thoughts on these sorts of systems creeping into future games in the comments. Are you ready to be totally taken advantage of, I guess? As always, I'm John Zakari, and thanks for watching.